Alrighty, hocus pocus. We're kind of in a weird place in math since our schedule this week has been kind of funky. Yesterday for math, you should have done remembering 2-13. We didn't do the lesson part or practice problems because it was just a day where we did games and kind of fact practice stuff. And so I figured we do that anyhow with Prodigy. And we didn't have any time for math with art yesterday. So today's lesson is 2:14. Was it?
2:14.
This one is all about fluency.
Don't get your math packet.
We have, nope, you don't need anything out yet. We have some fluency practice that we are going to do. We are going to have time for our multiplication time tests. And then we're going to move on to homework and remembering. So, practice problems, flashcard practice, homework and remembering. What are the three things? Practice problems, flashcards, homework and remembering. We're going to start with the practice problem. So activity numero uno. I agree, Dax. It's actually going to be a pretty easy day. Like, it's not going to be bad.
I made a unicorn.
Well, we should have plenty of time for science. You will need to, though. I know that I usually have my microphone for math. And my online friends, hopefully you can understand because my mask has got to be on. For some reason, it's not working. So I got to go without that today. So really make sure your sidebars are off. We are focused. We're getting past all those random facts. All right. Practice problem.
Start with
Numero uno.
Can I start with numero uno?
We want to be looking for patterns. So we've learned all of our multiplication facts 0 through 100. All of them are good to go. But we need to start noticing some patterns so that we can solve these even faster. Oh, wait, I got some mathematicians who aren't showing me good listening positions. Sorry, online friends. The goal for third grade is that you are going to have your facts memorized. What's your goal? Have your facts memorized. And the point of that is that you want to be able to do them super speedy so that you don't even have to think about them. One way to do that is to practice your flashcards all the time. So like if you go home, I definitely recommend practicing flashcards 5 or 10 minutes every single night.
What about
We also do it at school, right? Your quick practice, your fast facts with your friends, every time that you've got facts on your problems. But another way to do it, instead of just practicing flashcards, is to look for patterns. So I will pause again. Online friends, I am so sorry. I've got friends in the classroom today that are fidgeting with a lot of extra things instead of using their tools appropriately and being in a listening position. So I gotta wait. Are we ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes, we are.
Eli, you with me? Dax? Our hands should be on our desks. Our eyeballs should be up front. We're sitting up straight, telling our brains it's time to be awake and learn. I know you're tired. That's why we did a go noodle. We did a brain break.
Flashcards home.
Yes. Here's my first patterns we're going to talk about. When we talk about tens count bys, and I'm going to zoom in on it, what are patterns that you see in the tens count bys listed down here at the bottom? Who notices something that happens with every single tens count by? Miss Ryland.
Whenever you see a 10 and a number like, or 1, 8, or 7,
Mm-hmm.
by themselves, it always equals a 10, not a 19 or 18. It equals something
Yeah, so what did you notice? They all have the same. They all end in
0.
They all end in 0. So I'm going to write that down. They all end in 0. And that is true. And sometimes it even is a double 0, right? Like 100. But every single tens count by ends in a... Oh, I was not convinced. Every tens count by ends in a...
0!
So now what mathematician can notice? A pattern with my 5s count bys. All of my 10s end in a 0. What do you notice about my 5s count bys? Hendrix. Oh, so every other one ends in a 0, and then every other one ends in a 5. So 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0. Where would that be? Why would my 5s end in that 10 0 every other count by? Every 2 count bys? What do you think, Gunnar? Your head? Want to get a good drink? Try with a drink and see if that helps, and let me know if it gets worse, okay? Skylar, why do you think that I would see that 10s pattern, that 0, 0, 0, 0, every other 5?
Because 2 5s equals 10.
Because 2 5s equals 10. So if you noticed, if I look at the 5s count bys that end in 0, all of those are going to be 10s count bys. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50.
Every time a 5, like, how does 5, 10? Up on the top, it's an even number.
So, to recap, online friends, this is going to be in your slides. Friends in here, you're going to turn and tell your neighbors. But I want to know, what are some patterns that you notice with your 10s count bys and your 5s count bys? What are some things that you notice about your 10s and your 5s? Ready? Teach.
Okay.
Maybe this will wake us up. You can tell me.
Every single one has 0, but with 5,
going to be another.
every other one has 0, and then the rest ends in 5. And it's a little 200 by 20 by 5.
Class pass. Oh, it's just English, you goofballs. Class pass.
Yes, yes.
You guys are ready for more Spanish, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, who can recap? What are some patterns you notice in your 5s and your 10s count bys, and why? Mr. Kirkman.
On the 5, we
Ooh, odd, even, because if it ends in 0, it's an even. If it ends in 5, it's odd. Good. River.
So like, because like it's 1, then it goes 2, 2, then 3, 3. Well, 2, 3, and then.
So there is like nothing in the 10s, and then there are 2 10s, 2 20s, 2 30s, 2 40s. Good observation. So it takes 2 5s to make a next group of 10 for your 10s to go up. Savannah.
Mine's sort of like Rivers, but there's 2 5s, and then there's 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s.
Yes, yep, same thing. The 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s. Yep, so that it takes 2 5s count bys for your 10 to change up, right? Ellie.
It goes on a pattern 5.
Very smart. Ellie noticed the same thing. 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0. So if you see a number ending in a 5 or a 0, you know what type of count by is it? Addison.
It's a 5.
Yes, if it ends in a 5 or a 0, it is a 5 count by. I was super not convinced by that. Let's try that again. If a number ends in a 5 or a 0, it is a
5 count by.
I'm still a little bit weak, except for one person that shouted. I don't need you guys to shout. I just need everybody actually participating. So if you've got a tool in your hand, put it away. Hands are on our desk. 5, 4, 3, 2, both hands. 1. How about my tens? What do we notice about the tens, Maddie?
That it's basically just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But there's a 0 after it. So like the 10, it just has one more 0.
I love it. So that always ends in a 0. And then she noticed that the number that was in the tens digit, well, the ones place always has a 0. The tens place goes up every time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 10 with an extra 0. Nice observation. Every number that ends in 0 is what type of count by?
10.
What do you think, Mrs. Shaver? Weak sauce? Every number that ends in 0 is a count by of our
10.
Okay, you don't have to shout it, but you do have to actually be ready to answer it, okay? You ready to look at another pattern? Because this one is kind of fascinating. I'm curious to see what you guys notice here about my 9s. This table has my 9 circled, and I want you looking for how are these, let me get that straightened out for you. How are these related to the 10s in the next row? And I'm going to let you talk with your partner about it first, and then we'll share it. Online friends, you can talk to mom or dad or a sibling, but what do you notice about the relationship between the 9s, which are circled, and the 10s facts below them? See if you can come up with something that you don't think another group is going to notice, okay? Teach.
Okay. Like the 9 is the 0 and the 1 is like not 0, 1, 2.
Oh, tell me later. I'm going to ask you guys. Right now,
That's funny, Skylar.
I know you're noticing with your partner.
He goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Sure. Goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. There's. Yep. Goes 9, 8, goes 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Wait. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 4. And then that's 10, 9, 8.
All right. I had a lot of people coming up and wanting to point. Next time, make sure that you're pointing from your desk. That way we're not all getting muddled together. But I'm curious who was getting creative and noticed some really unique things about our 9s. What are some patterns that you saw here? Allie, let's hear it.
It goes like from like number order 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So in the ones place, right? In the ones place, absolutely 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And then guess what? Here we go all over again. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and good observation. So that's one thing. Our ones place counts backwards. What else did you notice?
Our 10
Keegan.
So, wait, 10 and 9 is 1 and 20 and 18 is 1. So, like, it goes up, counting 10 in the middle.
So these numbers are 1 apart. These numbers are 2 apart. These numbers are 3 apart. These numbers are 4 apart, right? 36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
I know it.
45 to 50 is going to be 5 off. Why would that be? Why do we get 1 more off with each count by? Why would we get 1 more off each count by, Kevin?
Because it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yes, so you're noticing that
What's the tens?
the tens are going up by a 10 each time, the number in the tens place. But these also go up
What? No.
in the tens place each time. Why is it getting off an extra 1 each time? First, we're off just by 1. 9 and 10, there's only 1 number parts. But then 18 and 20 is off by 2. 27 and 30, we're off by 3. Then we're off by 4 and 5 and 6. Why would it be an extra amount off every single nines count by? Skylar?
It goes at the top. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
What do you mean?
At the top, like.
Way up here?
Yeah.
So why does that make a difference?
Because that's how much you're using it by.
Okay, tell me more about that. Or you can phone it. I just say no. Think about the relationship between 9 and 10. How much are they apart from each other?
1.
So if 9 is 1 less than 10, every single time that we do another count by of 9, every single time it's going to be 1 less. So if it was 1 less the first time, we're already down 1. And then if we're still 1 less the second time, we're down the 1 from the first count by and the second count by, so we're down 2. The third count by, we're going to be down 3. The fourth count by, we're going to be down 4. So every single time we're getting more and more behind because 9 is less than 10. But what else do we remember about our 9s? Who was really paying close attention to a kind of fun thing that this actually only happens in our 9s?
Oh! You can always do
Riel? Oh, we talked about that. We talked about how our 1's place goes backwards. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And our 10's place goes up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But what about those 2 numbers together? You guys, he can just shot about 4 feet out of his seat. I think he might know the answer. What do you think, bud?
So I think that the reason it's doing that is because 9 is 1 less than 10, then just going down.
Yeah, but what do you notice about 9? And then a 1 and an 8. And then a 2 and a 7. And then a 3 and a 6.
I know
And a 4 and a 5. What do you think, Mr. Paisley?
I go up and show it.
Yes.
It's always the 1 minus this.
What do you mean?
So like the 2, but then it's 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7,
And
7,
then
8, 9, 8,
8.
9, 9, 1.
So it's always 1 fewer in the tens place, right? So instead of 20, you gotta go back down to a 1 and an 8. Instead of 30, it's a 27. So how do you know about the 1 in the 1's place? Emerson? What do you get when you put a 1 and an 8 together?
18.
Yep, and then what's 1 plus 8?
9.
9. What's 2 plus 7?
9.
Oh, friends, what's 3 plus 6?
9.
What's 4 plus 5?
So it goes.
What's 5 plus 4?
9.
Hey, zombies.
Yeah.
What's 6 plus 3?
9.
If you were to guess based on this pattern so far, what would these all add up to?
They're all addings of 9.
They're all oh my goodness, I have to give you guys a point for that. What do you say? That was great math language. You said all of them, when you put the 2 numbers together, they're add-ins of 9. So an 8 and a 1 add up to 9. A 4 and a 5 add up to 9. And so that's one way to check them. That's one way to check if the 2 numbers in your answer could